Brian.
Yeah. So I want to, if you imagined you as Wendy and you as Frasier meeting the people, Jamie and Zoe, I'm just curious about what do you think you would find most appealing about each of those people, and what might you find annoying about them?
Oh, I know what I find annoying about Zoe. She was not exactly humble, was she? I mean, she was quite a stroppy girl at times. I would have found that very annoying. I don't like stroppy. And also, she would have been incredibly bright, and I would have been lost.
And too bright for me as well. I'd have been totally lost as well. With Jamie, though, I don't know. We'd probably have a share of vodka and tonic together in a local bar.
Yeah.
Another question. Tim.
Frasier, what are your memories of Michael Grace?
Michael Grace, we go back way beyond Doctor Who, because we were both at stage school, young actors, and we always seemed to meet auditions, and we always seemed to be auditioning for the same parts. And he was, we were always at home, who was going to get the part, maybe Richard O'Sullivan, who was another actor of our ilk. But we'd never worked together until finally I did Doctor Who, with the Highlanders, and there was Michael Grace. We said, well, at least now we're not after the same part and we get to play together. But then he was very shortly gone, so we never kind of got our sort of camaraderie together. But he's a lovely man. Michael's a lovely gentleman.
He was a lovely man. I got to know him very well because our floor manager was his wife. Yeah, it was his wife. And Edwina Curry then, sorry. Edwina, and so I used to socialise a lot with Mike and Edwina. He was absolutely gorgeous, really gorgeous man.
And did he ever give you tips about how to deal with Frasier?
No, he just, I think he thought I could cope.
Another question.
Your question for both of you. Both your characters kind of, well, I'm sorry, now I've forgotten how to speak. They kind of got open-ended endings. Memories were wiped, and they were sent kind of back home. How do you think they spent the rest of their lives?
The question was, after they got their memories wiped at the end of the War Games, how do you think Jamie and Zoe went back to their lives? What did they do?
Oh, I guess Zoe was some massively intelligent being somewhere or other, bossing everybody around, and I'm sure she spent the rest of her life like that. I don't really believe our memories were wiped anyway. I think they probably weren't, and we could come back.
Yes. I think Michael at the time, yes. Time Lord's got it wrong again.
Yes.
I think Zoe would have gone on to be a sort of futuristic Margaret Thatcher. She'd have taken over the universe.
Yeah, I think she would have taken over the universe.
Yeah. Another question.
What about Jamie?
Matt.
What about
We'll get him after.
I read in your bio you worked with Chaplin. Could you talk about that?
Yes, you read my book. I worked with Charlie Chaplin, which is a great conversation starter.
Wow.
Some dinner party, and somebody said, Lawrence Olivier said to me, John Gilbert. And I said, well, Charlie Chaplin said to me, and they go, what? I said, I worked with Charlie Chaplin. I was about 9 or 10 years old. There was a film called A King in New York. And it was where this exiled king went to this special school if you were an artist or a painter. And my character was a little boy who was a cook. I mean, I had to make strawberry tarts, and as I'm rolling them out, I'm making a hole, I'm picking my nose and making holes for the cherries to go in. And Charlie Chaplin said to me, Frasier, do you know when the stars are brightly shining from Tosca? I said, no, Mr. Chaplin. He said, oh, well, just sing what I sort of offer you can. So I was going, la, 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 like that. I want you to roll it. You go over singing this opera, and you open this big sort of cooker door, and you go, shit, la, 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 and put it in. He said, right, well, let me see you do it. So I went, la, 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 oh, shit, la, la, la. Stop, no, crazy, I'm sorry. He said, I know you take direction, which is lovely, but when I touched the door, an arc light had been leaning on it, and it was very hot. I don't want you to sweat. So I went home that night, and my mother said, how did you get on, Mr. Chaplin? I said, he asked me, did I know when stars are brightly shining from Tosca? She said, you said yes. I said, Mum, I don't know. She said, She up the piano stool, got all of the music out, and said, right, da 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 dum dum da da. And I learnt it. And the next day I went to the studio, I said, Mr. Chaplin, and I started to sing this for him. He said, oh, you've learned it. I'm very pleased. He could, obviously, this little kid has not gone home, kicked a football, played Cowboys and Indians. He's actually wanted to please Mr. Chaplin. He said, but I saw the rushes this morning, and I'm very pleased with what you did. So that's marvellous. Later on in the day, and I'd never do it now, but I suggested, I said, Mr. Chaplin, I've got an idea of a bit of comedy. And instead of him going, I'm Charlie Chaplin, I've written this film, I'm starring in it, I'm directing, and you're telling me. He said, well, what is it, Fraser? I said, well, we get your cap, put it down there, and you put a face on it. He said, no, what we do is put my fur cap, put all the cream, he said, then I sit in it. Then we have the comedy. And he was such a great man that he listened to a 10-year-old boy suggesting comedy. And I just say, a lot of people in our business today, they've stopped listening. You try and suggest something, and they've stopped listening. But Charlie Chaplin was such a great man. He listened to a little 10-year-old boy suggesting comedy to him.
How fantastic.